My void will consume you, if you ask nicely.
Your will is no longer your own.
Stay away from the voodoo. To arms!
You have led the Horde to a place without honor.
Your petty quarrels only make me stronger.
Our world needs us, champion.
You got it over your head.
We cannot let the world fall to darkness.
Already lost.
Put your faith in the light, and all is possible.
Is it truly righteousness that drives you? I wonder.
It would seem you have guessed.
They are coming for you. This is the Whispers of War.
Hello everyone and welcome to Whispers of War, show number 95. I'm your host Sil, and let's jump into how was my week in World of Warcraft. I did a lot, at least I think I achieved a lot. So my baby paladin is no longer a baby. She finally dinged 120. I know I had some issues with BFA content. I was not happy doing that. But in the end, you know, it's just doing a few is it war fronts? No, it's not a war front. But you know, like the invasion type of shit. So I did that, and that helped, taking a break from that and just doing those now and again, and then playing another character, leveling them, just so I didn't get too frustrated in Colteras. And yeah, she's finally 120. I haven't started the cloak quest yet, or anything, you know, that you have to go to Zaitohro. Haven't done anything like that. I will probably start doing that at some point. But I'm just not sure if I want to go through all of that, having done that on so many other characters now. If I really want to do that to get her into Shadowlands. Like I said, I'm just not quite sure what I want to play in Shadowlands, but I'm hearing such good things about rogues, even though we haven't got our legendaries yet and all those things. I think I might be sticking with the rogue just because it is my playstyle, even though I play it shit. I really do enjoy the class fantasy. I like the aesthetics, the animation, and yeah, I just really like the vanishing and the sneaking. That's really what I enjoy. So I think I might stick to rogue, even though I thought maybe I should play a hybrid class this time, just to, you know, maybe healing is my bag again. I mean, I used to do it a long time ago, and I don't think I completely sucked. So who knows? But I just don't know if I want that responsibility. You know, at least as a DPS I can contribute it a little bit and not have people depend too much on me. So we shall see. I think for now it's just going to stay the rogue, but I'm just not really happy with my Void Elf rogue. I was very tempted to create another character this week and make it a Night Elf rogue. Just because, I don't know what it is. I really am digging the new looks that Night Elves get in Shadowlands. So I was debating, well, do I want to just create a completely new character, or do I want to continue my old Void Elf and just transfer, you know, create her into a different race? Or I wasn't quite sure. In one way, I don't want to pay again another £10 to a race change. I think it's £10. When I can just level. But then I have so much to level, you know. So it's a bit like, I don't know. I guess we just have to wait and see what I really want to do in the end. If I level the remaining characters in time, I might as well start another rogue, I guess. And this is when we find out, as soon as I've done that this is not the class I want to play. We shall see. We shall see what I'll be doing. But for now, I have to say that Night Elf Rogue is really something that's calling to me, so we will see. What else? So that grind is done for now for the Paladin. So I am now back on my Shaman, my Dark Iron. I figured that it's time to level all the allied races. I need to level at least 9 because I only got the Void Elf up to 120. She is 85 now, so I am in Hyjal, and I'm just zooming through quests. It goes really quick in Hyjal. So just 5 more, and I think it sends me to Draenor. And it actually makes you do the intro quest line as well in Draenor. And I say it, I mean Azeroth Autopilot. That actually tells you to do the intro quest, which is not great. I know that a lot of people go like, oh, again and again. But it does give you, I think, a level and a half or 2 levels. It goes quick then. So, yeah, I'll guess I'll just do it. It's easy anyway. And... yeah, I have 12 more to level to 120. So it's 9 allied races and then 3 that I already had, but that I feel like need to be 120 just to be done with it. At the moment I have 28 level 120s, which it's something. I know it's yeah. I can't say if I'm really proud of that or if I'm really ashamed of that. So I have to think about how I feel about that feat. I think you can say that I've spent a lot of time in World of Warcraft in my life. But yeah, I'm just chugging along. I do need to level 2 characters that I have not even created yet, which is a orc, just a normal orc, and a normal tauren. Because that means that I have all the races that are available then. And I have to admit that for the older races, I really think the heritage armor quests are so much fun. And they also look really cool. So I think, it's worth it. Because don't hate me, but I was not a fan of my female paladin dwarf. I have to say that dwarves look so much cooler now that... I've seen what they do with the customization in Shadowlands, that I'm actually, I'm not hating her anymore. I think she can look really badass. But I think doing that quest line as well for the heritage armor was really cool on dwarves, and I really enjoyed that and the storyline and just seeing the heritage gear as well. It just suits them so well, and I want to do that on all the other races. But with the Tauren and the Orc, I'm thinking I might actually wait until the expansion drops so that I feel like I can experience that completely new and see what it's like. Yeah, and ideally I would want to do that as well on an Alliance character. So maybe I should wait with creating Night Elf Rogue if I really want to make that my main. But what do? Do you level a character up at the start of an expansion, or do you take your old main through? That's a little bit what I'm struggling with what to do. So yeah, any words of wisdom, I'm all up for it. So just let me know. What else? So that's that. Quickly moving on from alts. I also, in my busy schedule of the normal things like work and life and leveling all these alts, I finally received my book. I ordered it from Waterstones in the end because, well, Waterstones has my credit card anyway, constantly. So they give me stamps for every tenner I spend on my book, and the more stamps you get, they pull you in and you get free books. So yeah, I thought, why not? If Amazon is going to be late anyway, I might as well just order it from Waterstones. So received the book, started reading it, and I finished it within 24 hours. Absolutely amazing. I really love it. I'm not going to put any spoilers in there, but I can definitely say yes, Christy Golden is one of my favorite writers, but I prefer Madeleine Roux's writing style so much more, personally. I think it goes quick. I like how characters are described and how they interact with each other. I think dialogue is written really well, and I just love the settings, and then just how the writing style is really something that I prefer. So for me, I hope that she will write all the books, because I just fly through her books. It's really, really enjoyable. Really enjoy her writing style. So, yeah, it was a great story, and it made me even more hyped for Shadowlands. And I really want to constantly play the beta, but I also want to achieve that leveling goal. So it's a little bit like, what am I going to do first? Am I going to go through the beta and then put my goals to the side? But we don't know when Shadowlands is going to hit. You know, there have been speculations that it could be October, November. For me, it feels like it's March because of lockdown and all that we've had. So that's how deceiving time can be, you know, because we are reaching August now. August, September, and then we're hitting October. Maybe we'll get a launch in October. I don't know. It could be possible. Or November. I kind of want to be done with my leveling of the allied races then, if I'm honest. I don't want to constantly look at it and go like, oh, I still haven't done this yet. Still haven't done this. So, yeah, I might have to make it a bit of a mix. You know, if I really get freaking sick and tired of leveling, that's when I have a day that I just play the beta, and that's just it. And just get a clear path of where I want to go, what I want to do, and how the class that I potentially want to play feels. So that's really it for me. That's the plan for now. Yeah, very busy and a lot of like head stuff going on. So that's that. I am going to leave you with an amazing interview I had with Zaitohro, and then after the interview I'll come back with the question of the week, which was all about what you guys are working on right now in World of Warcraft. But I will do that after the interview, so I'll see you on the flip side. And with me today, I'm being joined by yet another brand new voice. Welcome, Zaitohro.
Thank you, I appreciate you having me.
Did I actually pronounce that correct now?
Yes, you did. You were one of the very few people in the entire planet that is able to pronounce the name on the first try. You're like one of 5 people, I think.
That's alright, I'll balls it up later in the show, no doubt.
Right.
You know, I can't be too perfect with all of that. So, why don't you start with telling the listeners a little bit about who you are and what you do on the internet?
So my name is Zaitohro. I am a content creator, mostly for World of Warcraft. I have been for many years under different branding and different names. Worked in the esports scene a lot, from starting in 2016 with the start of Overwatch, and everything's just kind of progressed to streaming now, and working on a brand for that I'm very excited for. I'm excited for everyone to see it.
Nice. Why esports? What's the appeal in that?
I got to make money doing something I loved. You know, and I don't know, always seeing people excel in like World of Warcraft and watching the best of the best always inspired me, even back in the day in like Wrath and earlier like that, and I always wanted to get into the competitive gaming scene. I just happened to start with an FPS game for some odd reason. I'm not entirely sure why or how that worked out, but yeah, no, I love esports. I love professional gaming. I love that people that are younger who use games to help their mental state and everything can make a job out of it and can work hard, and all their efforts in the game that they play don't go to waste. And I always think that that's really cool that we are creating a company and businesses within a space that is made to help people.
Yeah, that's a really, really nice view on it. I really do dig that. Okay, so you said that we have talked about it a little bit in the pre-show that you are going to do a lot of streaming again soon.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I can't say overly too much. My biggest thing is I am very excited to dive back in and kind of do things that a lot of people don't normally do. I'm a very kind of, I don't sound like it, but this is like my normal voice. I like the eccentric style that a lot of people do. Like, I'm super inspired by people like Dr. Disrespect, who do like the character personas. Not that I'm doing anything like that, but one thing that you will see from me is like eccentric makeup, and different styles and interactive things with the stream, lighting, graphics, etc. Trying to kind of be unique in a way, in unique styles. Likewise, I'm really excited to kind of bring back the old style PvP videos. It's something I've been working on a lot lately. Where like, you remember the old videos, right? Where like it was just set to like some edgy music from like the 90s or the early 2000s,
like Puddle of Mud and things like that.
Oh yeah, man! No one makes videos like that anymore, and I really wish people did. I miss like growing up and like watching Warcraft movies. You know what I mean? And just seeing like these impressive players back in the day, just with like basic editing. You know, but the videos last a lifetime, man, and I'm excited to kind of dive back into that, even though I'm nowhere near as good as the majority of the people, but I survive.
That's nice. That's good, and you know, it sounds like it's going to be almost like a full-time job with everything that you're planning for it.
You know, that is the ultimate goal. Obviously, any content creator wants to be able to do what they do full-time and get paid for it. I have experience doing it full-time before. Currently, I work a full-time job, so juggling that with the content creation is just going to be a bundle of fun. And not that I sleep in general, but yeah, no, I'm super excited to try to make it full-time eventually. I've had the opportunity with my esports connections from before, getting, you know, to kind of like slide my way into people's DMs, ask for advice, talk to some really prominent people in the scene, and everyone's been super kind to me. Yeah, it's always good to know that the community you want to be a part of is so supportive and so nice. You know what I mean?
Definitely, absolutely. And I think if one thing we've seen lately, that the community is incredibly supportive. So yeah, that's really good. I'll look forward to that, and of course we'll do links at the end of the show so that people can start to follow you everywhere.
Of course.
So let's jump into your World of Warcraft history and everything that's going on. What the people want to know: Horde or Alliance? So.
My father, who got me into World of Warcraft when I was a kid, I remember the first image I ever saw of him. He was in, it was like 2006, or no, 2005, and he was in Red Ridge at Lakeshire, is that it? I think Lakeshire Red Ridge, and
something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and I remember seeing him or whatever, and I was like, can I try the game or whatever? And I created an Alliance Priest, and that was my first character I ever played. Did not go far with the Priest. I did not like Priest back then, man. But I created a Paladin because my father was a Paladin, and you know, I wanted to be like my father, yada yada yada. And I still to this day have my Paladin. But to answer your question, the reason why I mentioned my father is because he was always Alliance. I hated Alliance. I always wanted to be a Tauren, specifically a Tauren. Because I always thought that they were like the coolest races. I thought they had the coolest Mount Dakota, and I always liked the lore behind them, where they're like super peaceful, but they'll still fuck you up, type thing. Currently, my Paladin is Alliance because of my guild, but eternally, I am definitely for the Horde.
Yeah, I feel that. I very much feel that.
I think a lot of people will feel that, where they have to kind of swap over for their guildies, and you just feel like you're suffering. It's like, I really don't want to be in Darnassus right now. I'd much rather be in Thunderbluff.
Exactly. No, yeah, I know that feeling well, and I know that some of the guildies listen, so sorry guys, but you know how I feel about it.
It'd be like that.
So you said about your main?
Yeah.
Have you always stuck to that main, or?
You know, I did up until Legion. I always played Ret Rogue. That was my always thing. And anybody who played Paladin throughout, starting in Vanilla through Cataclysm, know the struggles of being a Ret Paladin, nobody liking you specifically because you're Ret. And it's a struggle, and I never gave up. But yeah, up until Legion, because in Legion I just kind of got bored, because after a while, you know, I religiously played this game because this was a huge coping mechanism for me. And so I was on this game every single day for years, like quite literally over a decade. And I just got tired of it a little bit. I didn't like the place that Ret Paladin was. And so I was like, all right, now's the best time to make alts and like try these other classes that I've wanted to play, because I'm hugely inspired by lore. So like I love the concept of like example like a Pandaren monk or a night elf huntress, or so I was trying these different race and clash combinations, and Legion and BFA have just been completely alt, and now I have so many 120s, I have no idea what to play next expansion. I changed my mind because my friends that have consistent, because I quit after Uldir of BFA, and I'm back now. Yeah. And my friends are so sick of me because a lot of my friends do mythic raiding, and so every week they have to run a different character of mine through a 15 so I can start building gear on it and just the masks. And I'm like, hey, I know you just ran my warrior, but my priest is looking kind of nice right now. Can I get a 5 mask real quick? And it's just like my friends in my guild have been super supportive, but I have way too many alts right now.
I think a lot of people are in that same boat now. I think it's rare to nowadays have people who really only create one character and that's it. I envy those people, but I'm
same. I am trying my hardest to, because that's my goal for Shadowlands, is to have one class, and I'm trying so hard, and I don't know which one to do. I'm currently looking at like warrior, I think, because I can just race change to whatever I want.
Yeah, that's true. And I think it's difficult, isn't it? Because with class de-pruning or pruning or whatever changes that they make, to Shadowlands, and then in between a class all of a sudden can have like a patch where they fix something, or there is oversaturation with certain classes, because everyone I speak to is like, oh yeah, I'm making a shaman, or I'm making a warrior, or maybe a death knight. That's all I hear. Yeah. And at a certain point I'm like, well, there's so many classes. At a certain point,
right,
they will need other classes. So it's a difficult one, especially I think with an expansion that we heard is going to be launched in autumn this year.
Woo!
It's going to be.
I'm terrified.
Interesting.
I'm terrified. I am. To be completely honest, to be transparent, I have zero confidence this expansion is going to be good. But I like what they're doing with character customization at the moment. That is quite literally the only thing making me want to try it out. Torghasts is a cool concept, but everybody knows, anybody who does mild thinking on it is going to be like, all right, so Torghast you can run however many times you want. That means all the overpowered classes are going to be able to get the best gear first, and the first PvP season and the first raid tier is just going to be a mess because people are just mass running Torghast, and it just doesn't seem fun to me. And then are we allowed to talk about the reveal that happened today?
Well, let's do that with the feelings and thoughts regarding Shadowlands, because then we can just go on about everything that's been revealed.
Right.
Okay, so let's reel it back in with how. So you saw your dad playing World of Warcraft, but when did it really start for you that you were like, okay, this is now the game for me?
Probably that same day. I really enjoyed it. I had my father and I's basically our entire relationship is based on video games. So when I was 6 years old, I was playing Diablo 2, which is probably not the greatest game for a 6-year-old to be playing. But it works. Parenting 101, I guess. I loved it. I thought the graphics were insane. From what I was used to, because playing Diablo 2, we all know the RTS style, like graphics and super pixelated, but at the same time really good. Seeing like fully 3D characters in like an open world space was like mind blowing to me. And I loved every minute of it, and I still love the game. I may not do a ton of max level content because max level content makes me want to rip out my pink hair, but I still love the game.
The thing is that I think with what World of Warcraft can offer nowadays, there's something for everyone. So you don't have to run end content if that's not your thing, your thing to do. You can just do some other thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So, with you playing for such a long time, because you said you started in 2005, wasn't it?
Yep.
Did you feel the need to jump back into Classic when it launched to experience it again, or were you like, you know what, fuck it, I've done this, I don't want to do it again?
Oh no, I was there day one, pre-logged in, ready to hit the enter world button as soon as it went live. I was one of like the 1% of people that had an amazing launch for Classic. I was one of the first. I obviously cannot prove it, but I'm like 99.9% sure I was the first level 2 on White Mane, because I went so quick. As soon as I got in, I didn't get hit with any lag. I accepted the quest. I was the first person in Northshire to get that first quest, and I started killing the wolves. And yeah, no, I got what I wanted out of Classic. I knew going into Classic I wasn't going to try to go for a Grand Marshal or anything like that. I just wanted to kind of experience my childhood again and stuff that kind of like shaped my entire life, you know what I mean? And it was good to revisit it. You know, I got to max level. I got to do I did multi-core. I did Onyxia.
Cool.
Which was fun because I never did Onyxia back in the day. I did Molten Core with my father's guild, likewise with Blackwing Lair, but it was super cool to kind of experience it again. And you know the game's fun whenever you're fawning to your friends about a gray piece of gear dropping when you're level 4. And you're like, oh my god, a belt dropped. I don't have a belt. Yes, this is awesome. This is a huge upgrade. And it just brought back the sense of like wonderment to the game, because I felt like my efforts actually mattered in a way. I really liked grinding gear, grinding dead mines, grinding, just walking everywhere was a lot of fun. Yeah, and so picking up, I took my mount for granted, for sure, because, getting used to walking around so much in the game. I mean, it wasn't terrible. It was kind of cool, kill stuff on, the way to your location. And then as soon as you got your first mount, the entire world changed. You know what I mean? Like, you were like, wow, this is so fast. And then the epic mount was it was insane. And it just felt nice.
Yeah, it actually feels like you've achieved something there.
Yeah, for sure. And I gotta give props to people like Asmongold, who made it seem so much fun and documented everything from the beta and really just hyped it up beyond belief, because the actual turnout for Classic, although it's kind of dwindled now, which is what everyone expected. I don't think anyone expected it to be a forever thing. I think we all just wanted to get that one last hurrah, you know what I mean, to really just experience it again and have options for it, because now it's created, on Courage and is about to come out again, which is going to be really cool, because I remember watching it over my dad's shoulder when I was a kid. And who knows, they might do another release type thing where they do a season of Classic. Would be not a lot of people like this idea, but I kind of do, where in a year or so, they make fresh servers. They obviously have their current servers still remain, but all right, everyone starts fresh again. And so people that didn't get to 60 before and now are afraid to get to 60 because everyone's a high warlord and everything, and they're like, I really don't want to do South Shore when I know PvP is enabled and all this stuff. It gives them another chance to get into it, and I think that's a good idea.
Will be interesting. Yeah. I think, that might not be a bad idea to have smaller, tiny updates and things like that, really, to keep it fresh. Okay, so you said that you don't play end content at the moment in BFA. So what would you say is your current obsession to do?
Still farming tusks of Manaroth. I'm 7 years deep and I can't give up now.
Okay. That's I've seen dedication from people.
It's bad whenever you have multiple versions or multiple items of the mount in your bag and you don't have the shoulders. I first got the mount and I was really excited for it because it's a cool mount. I mean, the Scorpion, but now I have 3 of them and I don't know what to do. I've
So is collection like a big thing?
sort of. I like specific stuff. Like, if there's something specific I really want to go for, I'll go for that. But I'm not people like Mephisto who want to collect every plate appearance. You know what I mean? Or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of really cool stuff in the game that I want to obtain. And, you know, I've been doing it slowly but surely. Mostly with my duo who runs stuff with me, Mel. We both do Siege of Orgrimmar every single week. We do Shaw of Anger every single week. We have this like little route we have to do, and we each need something different from it. And every single week we get screwed. Although they just got Spawn of Horadon this week, so I mean, I guess they're done with that.
That's not too bad then, at least.
I still need G-Coon. I'm gonna force them to run with me until I have it.
Yeah, exactly. That's you know, that's only fair, right?
Right.
Okay, so let's jump into to Shadowlands. So we both just watched the reveal, and I know for people it's like just because this interview will be a bit later for everything that's being launched, but we've just watched it. So we might talk a little bit about that. But what are your initial feelings and thoughts regarding Shadowlands? Because you said that, you know, the customization is the one thing that you are having good feelings about, and not so much about Shadowlands. So how come?
I am, man. I am just. I don't like the idea. You know, and a lot of people got to realize that it is an MMO, and grinding is a huge part of it. I just wish that we had different grinds. Like, it's obvious now that we have. I forget what they call it. I think conduits. You know, but it's basically just Azurite, and it's basically just artifact weapons. So it's going to be the third expansion in a row where we have to farm stuff to build up a table again, and I'm just not a huge fan of that. If they do everything else right, that's going to feel a lot more okay. But if it's like a huge sign up point like it's been for the last two expansions, then I'm going to be extremely disappointed. I do have high hopes. I think that Blizzard is 100% listening, but I am just so tired of the repetitive content because there's so much for people to do. Like, if you're like me and you're coming back from quitting an Uldir, there's so much for you to do, but at the same time, none of it is appealing because you have to do it on every single character. Nothing shares, and it is just the same thing over and over again, and it's just not unique. And I think that's why everyone liked Classic so much, is because it felt unique. You know what I mean? Everything had a purpose. Everything was different, you know, whereas if it was just in Legion or something, that's fine. It might have been. I liked the artifact weapon. I loved not having to hope for a weapon to drop the entire expansion because it never dropped in any other expansions. But Azurite kind of made it not great because it required you to do so much to keep up. And as someone that, you know, went pretty hardcore with Uldir or whatever, we were always doing our island expeditions, hours on end, all our mythics, and it was just so much to do to remain in the top percentile that it just was not worth it. And granted, I know that people will have to go above and beyond to be in the top, no matter what, but I don't know, it just felt repetitive and not in a unique or good way.
Okay, I agree with you. I was not a fan, and then when you certainly get certain catch-up mechanics, which sometimes prove not to really be catch-up mechanics, like there's another little catch there, then I'm kind of like done with certain things like cloaks and other abilities that you can get for whatever it is that you need to farm. So I get you. I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Okay. In regards to the covenants, is that something you're looking forward to?
Yeah, I think it's a cool concept for sure. I think it's going to be a lot like class halls, though, but maybe more impactful.
Okay.
I think that the fact that I didn't hear too much about it, but I know that they have like special quests for each that are like played events, which is kind of cool. And it's not just like a quest line; it's something that you get to do. You get to interact with the special areas in your covenant. which I think is really unique. And if they add stuff like that to already existing stuff, then it'll make it a lot better, in my opinion.
Okay, so say that you managed to find a main for Shadowlands. Have you already decided which covenant you want to go to, or are you very much like, well, that really depends on the class that I'm picking, or are you going for class flavor, aesthetics? What would you base it on?
Definitely aesthetics. I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't care anymore about the really major stuff. I think at the moment, my best choice is it's probably gonna be Maldraxxus, mostly because I'm always a huge fan of the Scourge and that kind of like the bone and like plague aesthetic, which is really cool. But I think they really did the Kyrians really well. I think the blue angel people of that area are super unique, super cool. The little owl people are to die for. But yeah, I think I'll more than likely go with Maldraxxus. I want to see what they do more with customization. I think it'd be cool if they added like different customization stuff to your character per whatever you choose. I think armor sets and back pieces is cool. I think it's a great step, but I feel like they could do more to make it more fulfilling.
Okay. If you would level an alt, would you? Can you see yourself leveling a lot of alts in Shadowlands? For the different covenants to experience that?
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see myself doing it due to the amount of alts I have and the absolute awful amount of dedication I fail to put in to a single class. So I definitely think that'll be me. If I had to choose one for my paladin, I would obviously go with Kyrian because it just matches so perfectly. And I think a lot of druids will go with Arden Wield.
There's just certain covenants that really you just picture a certain class with it, don't you? It's that aesthetic that really fits really well. It will be interesting to see people who actually go for the meta and people who actually go for aesthetics.
Yeah, it'll definitely be. I mean, like, people on Illidan are obviously going to go for the best in slot, and then people on Moonguard are going to go for the aesthetic. Like, I think a lot of it is going to be based on the server. So if you're more of like an RPer or anything, I think it'll be probably best for them because they get to build their character on it, more. I think. But people that raid are just going to be eventually angry because Blizzard can talk about, oh, we're making it so that it's choice or whatever, don't. Just say, oh, it's in beta or whatever. But like, honestly, like, it's out of their control. I feel there's always going to be something better. That's just the nature of video games. You know what I mean? And it's not necessarily their fault. It's just how it works.
Well, and the thing is, who's to say that Blizzard doesn't tweak certain things in a patch, and then all of a sudden, you've done all of that, and then it's like, oh, now I need to grind the other rep because this is not working anymore for me.
Right.
I mean, they've done it several times. It's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out because from the reveal, it seemed like it was very, like, in depth with what you could do and lots of stuff. But I think seeing it and experiencing it is completely different.
Right.
Very, very interesting to see where Shadowlands will lead us. Okay, so another feature for Shadowlands is the leveling style and everything. Will you... I know that you've already said that you had many alts, but do you think you'll be leveling any alts in Shadowlands? And if you do you think that you would... Say that you start from the beginning, and you're like, okay, well, for instance, I want a monk. Right. I feel like any monk should be leveled in Pandaria because that is like the flavor for that class. Or
I love your thinking about that.
Yeah, it's just a little bit, and other people are like, nah, I just, Wrath of the Lich King has always been my favorite. That's where I want to go. Or how would you pick the leveling situation for your characters?
Yeah, I mean, I think it all depends. I definitely want to check out that new leveling system they're doing. And by the way, I am one of the very few people who are very supportive of the level squish. I love that we're going back to 60. I think, also to mention Mephisto again, who went from level 10 to level 50, which is equivalent to 120 right now, in under 4 hours, is amazing. My biggest stress from WoW is leveling. I absolutely hate it. I don't mind the dungeon grind, but at the same time, whenever you play as many characters as I do, you're doing the same dungeons over and over again. And plus, you've been doing those dungeons for years before. You know what I mean? So them having this really cool leveling zone, even though it doesn't go all the way to the max level, it is a very different experience, and I think it is going to be grindable and worth doing. I definitely am glad that they did a level squish. It's going to make it feel a lot better, and the fact that they are also making leveling faster is going to be really good for a lot of players and make it a lot more attractive to play multiple alts. Assuming and I think covenants are good.
Well, hopefully. And also, I think with that, knowing Blizzard also from a point of view of getting people to come back or to actually start playing for the first time, the threshold of starting and actually getting a character at end level, that will be easier to obtain than, I think, if only for a mental point of view, that you look at it and go like, well, level 60 is not too bad, instead of 120 or 130.
Right. Even though it's practically the same experience, it's definitely better.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to, God knows, everyone knows I've been leveling, so it will be an interesting change to the pace and everything and where we go. Okay. So there has been a lot of controversy with the Horde and the Alliance and the storyline between that. How do you feel about both the factions now that we are sort of at peace?
Well, I mean, after we defeated Garrosh in the Siege of Orgrimmar, we were at peace at that time as well. But we all know how great that went.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's cool. Honestly, like, another controversial opinion. I think it would be super cool one day if races would be allowed to choose what faction they want to go to. I think the disabling of factions would be a bad idea, but who knows? There could be a Tauren that fought alongside the Night Elves or whatever, and they want to go, spend time over there. I think it'd be cool to allow people to kind of choose their faction based on the faction and not the races that are on it. You know what I mean? Because if they're really trying to push the peace narrative, I'm fully supportive of that. I think it's really cool. No matter what, it's always gonna be battle for Azeroth, no matter what expansion we are. But I definitely think them doing something with the factions would be really nice, considering that we're going through leaders like we've lost so many Horde leaders. We don't really have that many Alliance leaders. I like the council system is really cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not super caught up on the lore, so I'm trying to think it through.
Horde now has a council instead of a war chief. I think Alliance still has a High King of the Alliance, which would be Anduin. And then, of course, you have all the leaders who I do think they all have an equal say, but I do think when it comes to leading the battle, that is very much on the humans.
Yeah, that would make sense. I just drew a huge blank. I am so sorry.
That is all right. I think lore-wise, there is a lot.
It's so complicated. There's so much stuff happening in this expansion that it's so hard to keep up with what's what. I'm still trying to figure out how Sylvanas did the Shadowlands thing, because she went from saying everyone in the Horde and everybody is nothing to I'm gonna save us all. That makes absolutely no sense, and I'm still trying to figure out what's happening with all of that.
I'm really hoping we'll get the answer in the book next week. So
yes! Oh my gosh. I have been talking to her on Twitter. I am so excited for the book.
Yes, so am I, and especially with some of the reveals, which we're not going to mention.
They're so good, though. They're so good.
It seems to be a really good one. Okay, Right, let's go to a sort of more of a serious question. What has the Warcraft community meant to you personally?
Full stop. Like, you want me to be like completely blunt and honest?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Without World of Warcraft and the people I've met, I would have 100% been dead so many years ago. And I struggle with mental health horribly. I actually posted a huge tweet longer recently about it, like, because these last 2 weeks have been some of my most unstable. And like my friends in WoW that I used to play arenas with, and like I looked up to, and I'm just like overall friends with, have like really been helping me out and like really checking on me and making sure that like I'm solid and everything. And I think the World of Warcraft community is probably one of the best communities in the gaming sphere, where it has competition or whatever, but at the same time everybody kind of knows each other. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's massive, but it's tight knit at the same time. Where as people, and like I'd say Overwatch or whatever, because I was big in the Overwatch scene for almost 2 years. And
yeah.
I could not name a single person I worked with or anybody that I could rely on for my mental health or talking to them about issues or just anything like that. Whereas the Warcraft community, people I don't even know are like coming up to me and like checking on me, making sure everything's good, and vice versa. I do the same thing for other people that are struggling. You know, it seems like everybody is on the same page in a way. We all want to see everybody succeed. We all want to see everybody happy. We all want to see everybody enjoy their time, you know, on this earth and just in the game. And, you know, it definitely seems to unify a lot of things, which is something that you don't really see in gaming much, or in life. And no matter if the patch is bad at the time of the game, the community is always just completely solid.
I'm first of all, I'm very sorry that you had to go through that, but I'm so happy for you that
I'm not
the
unique.
community has. Well, unfortunately, no, but it's still, you know, it's I think it's sometimes a sad way of how our society is nowadays. I think a lot of people are getting a lot of things dished on their plate, which is just, you know, life can be really, really hard at times, but it's so great hearing that the community has really reeled around you and been there to make sure that you were okay. So I'm really happy to hear that. And I think in a way, luckily, I think we could see, especially in the last few weeks, what the community can do to stand side by side other people, and I think that's, you know, that's a good thing. But yeah, hearing it from you, I'm just really happy that they were there for you, and that's just been great.
And even when I was younger, struggling with the same things, the game itself was literally like my medication, my therapy, my everything. You know what I mean? Like getting to like funnel all my stress into something, you know, is very magical in a sense, and just so healthy in a way, you know what I mean? And it is so nice, and that's what we're lucky that we're into a game like World of Warcraft, where it's not like an FPS game, or it's not like a regular RPG where like you just kind of follow a story or you're doing the same objective over and over again. It's an open world experience. You can be whoever you want to be. You can role play with people on a role play server if you want to like disconnect from your current self, create a character. You can PvP if you want to get your stress out or gain more stress depending how you play, and just everything. It's super unique, and you can do anything you want to in this game, and I think that's something that everybody takes for granted. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, I love hearing the stories like that, because, you know, with some people it's just like, yeah, everything's been peachy keen. I've had a great, and then with other people who have struggled, it's nice to know that the community can be there, because I think we all hear about any, especially the gaming community, you always hear, oh, it's so toxic, and, you know, they're just awful. Gamers are awful. So it's really nice to also just hear the other side of what a gaming community can mean to other people.
Yeah.
No, I'm very. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, no problem. The WoW, especially even on the pro side, just to capitalize on that really fast. When you say it's competitive and people are toxic and everything, it's true. But like you even see people on Twitter like Sea-Doo, like Peekaboo, all the people at the very high level are all still down to earth and like really in tune with the community, in tune with everybody around them, and it's about the game itself and like hanging out and fighting their friends more as trying to reach just a trophy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody wants to win BlizzCon, but like even when they lose BlizzCon, they're all still friends. You know what I mean? And it's like we'll just try harder next year. You know what I mean?
Well, I like that attitude. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point to make. Okay, let's go to a completely like lighter question.
Okay.
Completely different, because sometimes we do get like the heavy questions, so I always try to lighten it up a little bit.
Of course.
What is your favorite in-game food?
Dude, I am a huge OG fan of the tough hunk of bread.
Okay.
I have absolutely no idea. Probably because that was all that was in my bags for like 2.5 years because I had no idea what I was doing. I just, man, even when it became absolutely worthless to me, I still carried around that stupid level 1 food. Yeah, I don't know. Anytime I think about World of Warcraft food, I think of tough hunk of bread and refreshing spring water.
Yeah,
that's all you need.
Yeah, that's all you need really to live by. Okay, so we've reached the final question of the podcast already.
All right.
Which is a weird question. So it is, what is your whisper? And for those who are new, and you're going, what the fuck is a whisper? I'm still figuring it out after so many episodes, but we've boiled it down to, it could be anything. So it could be something that you wish for in the game, or maybe a certain thing of the story that you would like to see happen, or game mechanics, anything like that. So what is your whisper?
I would love more allied races and customization. I think being able to create a character that is unique to you very much outweighs any raid tier or anything because that is everybody. Everybody does Nyalotha, everybody does this and that, but like your character is the only thing that is uniquely yours. And the fact that they're adding stuff where they're including customizations for persons of color and everything nowadays is amazing. Like what they've done for humans is absolutely incredible. I definitely think adding more allied races and maybe a few more classes, although like I'm not a huge fan of new classes, only because look at Demon Hunters, look at Death Knights. Like every time they've added a new class, it's just been a mess. Same with Monk, with Windwalker. It's just overpowered and everything. But I really desperately, and I was hoping for more allied races today because they created that new system with that character creation screen that we've all seen on Wowhead and everything, where there are the little circles and there's so much room. And I think that is a huge plan of theirs. I honestly would love to see like at least 5 allied races for each faction. Like, I think it's completely doable. I don't think anyone would care if they were reskins because they can just create story. Also, making classes and races that are, combinations would be great. Like an Undead Paladin, Night Elf Paladin. I'm really tired of being Alliance and having to choose Dwarf, Draenei, or Human. I really would like to be an elf of some sort. I don't care if they give it to a new elf or anything like that. But... yeah, I definitely want more options like that.
Yeah, and it should be really, because you have Arathor the Redeemed, who is a paladin, who has the... Okay, let's say it's Blood Elf, but now High Elf in lore model. So, yeah, I think, especially since the story is progressing and races are learning more and more from each other, why not? Yeah, it would create a lot more freedom and a lot more options for a lot of people. So that is very cool. I'm completely with you on that. I do hope when they decide to do that we get more than 50 characters.
Yes.
That
You
would be
remember
something
that,
I really, really want.
You remember that private server? I forget what it was called that had like Nagas and everything of like Tusker and like us playable races, and this was like way back in time. This was like in Wrath of the Lich King and Cataclysm, and these guys figured out how to make Murlocs like playable races. If like these random nerds in their basement could create an entire server to be dedicated to this, a multi-million-billion-dollar company like Blizzard can do it as well. And I think that if they did that, it'll make a lot of people happy.
I think so. I think you're right with that. That would be very interesting, but I think they might want to keep something up their sleeve for a little while.
Yeah, the emergency button whenever Shadowlands fails.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, no, we have something new now.
Right.
Who knows? Okay, very, very cool. And I'm with you on that. So, if people want to find you, where can they do that?
You can follow my biggest activity right now until I launch is my Twitter. That's at Zaitohro, which is Zaitohro. You can also follow my Twitch, which is ZaitohroGG, or find my YouTube. There's no videos yet, but that's where I'll be doing a lot of content. Yeah.
You can already start following, right?
Yes.
So that people get notified anyway.
Give me clout. I want
exactly. Okay. Thank you so much for being an amazing guest. It was really a lot of fun talking to you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I hope we can do this again sometime.
Absolutely. But I think when Shadowlands hits, we need to start talking again. I speak to all my guests because I just want to hear their experience of. So, what did you think now that it's out?
I'll be playing Fortnite or something. I'm just going to give up on everything and be like, you know what? I'm a Fortnite player now. I don't play Battle Royales or anything, but it's just going to end up being, if Shadowlands fails, I'm completely flopping everything over and just becoming...
Oh, let's hope not. Fingers crossed that it will be.
Right, absolutely.
Alright, well, thank you again.
Thank you.
So I hope you enjoyed that interview. It was lovely talking to yet another new guest, and I'm always on the lookout for new voices, or if you want to come back, and you've been a guest before, just give me a poke on Twitter, and we'll get talking again. Right, let's talking about Twitter. This was the question of the week. I wanted to know what you guys were up to in game right now, or what you're working on. So some of you, you're wanting Mount 1,000 and something. I don't know how many there are, and others wanted maybe ahead of the curve, anything like that, or like me, you're leveling all the alts. So this is what you guys said. So Gaber76 said, well, my job decided to furlough me, so this week and the next week I'm trying to make enough gold to keep my account active so I can keep playing my alts. That is not a bad thing to use gold for your account. I've not managed to do that at all. I am notoriously bad at making any money in the game. Dmifernov said, get my Lightford Priest to 120 and then the rest will wait until the expansion. I would like a llama mount and I'd like to get into the beta so I can now spoil all the story as I'm ready now. Bring me all the Darien and Bolvar bits. You might be very lucky there. Who knows? I mean, they are sending out new waves, so who knows? Samsona said, Lore Master, just have to push through some Kata content and tidy up Shadowmoon Valley, and I'm done. Other than that, gold making to pay for game time and leveling alts. If I do just one thing, I get bored. That's fair enough, I think. And Lore Master, that's not a bad feat to do now. I think that's a very good time for that. Homans. Is it Milhomans? I probably have completely butchered this name. Said, Longy boy, farming that gold and plus, so I'm not completely broken in the Shadowlands. Well, yeah, that's kind of true, because, you can save for 5 million, but you also want a little bit of money, I guess, to get started, and even for your repairs in the beginning. Nick Zed said, when I am checking into WoW, I'm poking around Mechagon for the last few items I need for the meta achievement. It's going to take me a while. Oh, well, good luck with that. Tim said, a mix of mount farming and leveling alts. Yep, everyone seems to be really into that. Frasley, I'm working right now on mount farming mainly, though I want to also get back in and do some more challenges, like the WoW challenges. I have alts to level, but part of me isn't in a hurry with Shadowlands coming. Oh, Frasley, but you know what you want to play, don't you? So, yeah. Then I guess there's no hurry. Gitty said, alts. I see your pattern here. Kit said, mostly transmog farming for my alts. My paladin has lots of great options, but my poor druid has been seriously neglected. Yeah. I never thought I was going to be into transmog, but I have to admit it has lifted the gameplay up a little bit for me. It's nice to see your character in a nice, outfit that you constructed for them. The Protodin said, lots of gold making for time killing, but also fun. I've made about 8 million in 5-ish months. Wow, that's wow. I'm impressed, very impressed. Arctic Anomaly said, when I have the time, my main focus is streaming Lore Master, but when I can't do that, I'm focused on gearing alts in preparation for Shadowlands and collecting profession recipes and transmog to maximize my profit-making opportunities. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all. Rombo said, farming transmogs and leveling some neglected alts. Got AOTC from a buddies team, did what I wanted in BFA, and now it's time to enjoy the XP buff and relax until Shadowlands. Oh, and constantly tweet at devs telling them that Demon Hunters should be able to transmog Quell Solar. Yeah, keep tweeting. Grand Negus said, starting playing beta content, killed off a WoW Challenges Iron Man Hunter the other day. Got the Stonecore mount yesterday, and no, unless I get a carry, I wouldn't get the AOTC achievement and mounts. Okay. Joey said, I'm working on making gold and transmog runs for MOB and WOD, so many raids. AIP official said, just recorded my latest adventure after getting a haircut, trying to put more energy and be more entertaining. Playing at a different time of day is a whole nother vibe. I'll be dropping that tomorrow morning. Right now, just trying to upgrade blood spec to eye level 440. Maybe get Xmog. Okay, fair enough. I mean, transmog is always nice. Scarlet Highlord or Red Pally Jill, the Ashbringer, said... Also, by the way, guys, your titles are freaking long, but I love it. They said, trying to complete 5 masks, get some achievements, maybe some more Mythic Nyalota bosses down. I have 1 down, it's a start. Yeah, indeed, it is a start. So who knows, you might be able to finish them all. Sanchez Joseph said, a Mythic progression with my guildies a couple of hours a night, helping my low-geared guildies on some Mythics and raids, and full PvP with my alts and some Mythics too. For me, it's way too fun, though I don't have much time to play casual here. Nothing wrong with being a casual. AZ said, leveling up allied races for the heritage armor and working on alts. We are in the same boat there, I think. Zoo said, achievements, wood transmog farming, prepping RP story for all the things we are about to get hit with in Azeroth, and collecting the wild pets that I'm missing in BFA. Oh, pet collecting, that's a good one. Vane said 250k honorable kills. Okay, someone is having war mode on, I think, I hope. Lex said farming gold to try and buy the long boy and vaguely trying to level some alts as well. Spanky Hunter, my girlfriend is making a list since we got the post from the devs about what's going when. Also currently leveling 5 warriors. 5 warriors? Okay, 5 warriors and 1 druid for allied races. And my girlfriend has a bunch of classes missing, so dungeon spamming that combo with the XP buff and XP potions, as well as the usual circuit of disappointment for mounts. Also started doing Mythic Tomb of Sangaris and working on the raid achievements in there. We both have 470 gear now, but it's still a challenge. It sounds like you're very busy. I don't know if you you listen to Des Mephisto and that's why you have like 5 warriors. I'm not entirely sure, but you know, I think his influence is rubbing off on people. Tahura Brook said, trying unsuccessfully to level all my 50 tombs to max before the expansion. Oh, I feel your pain. Chumpa Chum said, trying to get Jacklick's Crusher from Zaitohro, and that's of course in Classic. I do hope that you get it. I used to love Zaitohro when it just came out. It was amazing. Orange Blur said, mog hunting and alts for Shadowlands professions. Yeah, that's also a very, very valid point. Ben Davis said, working on getting All mythics timed at 15 plus. Have done KR, UR, and TD so far. And I don't know all those abbreviations so quickly by heart, but I'm sure you guys do. Primal Deep said, the endless grind for my Off the Deeps title. It will be mine. Ooh. Good luck. Orkan Roll said, I love this name. Orkan Roll said, bit of everything, mostly trying to get AOTC with a group of friends, but also leveling alts, running old content, and obviously role-playing. Jarv said, trying to level some alts and trying to help my son level a toon up to 120. I hope your son is enjoying it. But yeah, that's always fun, I think, when families game together. Jen said, finally thinking about leveling some of those alts I haven't touched since Mist. Now is the perfect time. Spencer HD said, I've spent most of my time this week in Battlegrounds, 18k honor until rank 4. Blood of the Enemy. Spent most of the day in Zaitohro doing supplying the assassins for rank 4 Ripple in space. 18 out of 25, so we're getting close. After that, I just need 2400 PvP rating, and I'm Azeroth's Guardian. Wow, that's a lot of PvP. But yeah. It sounds like everyone is having you know, so many plans still, which is good. King Long said, me and my girlfriend, yes, we live together, we're taking a break and getting ready to close on our new house. So this break came at the perfect time. Nothing wrong with taking a break. I think if there's nothing for you at this moment in time, or there are bigger things, it's not a bad time now to take a break. Savi said, working on getting all of the cooking achievements, only 6 left. Magpie said, mostly leveling alts and playing casually. Gilvanas said, I'm reading old Warcraft comics, short stories and novels I skipped on over the years. Lore is more fun and enriching than the 700 month, in my honest opinion. Sub expired and I have 3 game time tokens ready for the next patch. My BFF got me Shadowlands as a gift already. Oh, that's really nice. That's a really, really good BFF there. Scrubs vs. the World said, I'm about to hit 1 million gold for the first time ever. Then I'm going to spend that million on tokens for Shadowlands. But once I get that all dialed in, I'll go and get my Transmog Yak mount. That's one investment that I thought I'm never going to get a Transmog Yak mount. And then I was so happy I bought it. Honestly, I'm really happy I bought it. Exclavier said, I'm mostly running transmogs on alts, slowly leveling a few neglected professions and time walking. Oh, and I finally obtained the Clockwork Gnome pet through archaeology this week. Congratulations. Projali said, beta testing all the Boomkin Resto Druid updates and dungeons, getting our last couple of guildies and Nyalota squid mounts, stocking up the guild bank coffers for Shadowlands progression, recruiting, and trying to maintain sanity in the downtime between expansions. Sounds like it, that's a lot of work. Cheryl said, don't know if I'm late for recording, but I'm continuing the Circuit of Disappointment. But mine includes all dungeons and raids for Transmog, currently working on plates. Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, that's not a bad one actually. I think Des Mephisto did a lot of that as well, and I think he got it all. So really, really cool if you want to work on the transmog side of things. So for those of you out there who don't know what to do, maybe this gave you some inspiration. It sounds like a lot of you are still doing stuff, which is actually quite good for a end of expansion period, I would say. Because normally it's quite a bit of a lull, but I think that XP boost really, really helps. I think if that wasn't in the game, it might have been a bit of a different story. So, yeah. I think Bliss is keeping us with certain things. Definitely. Anyhow, thank you guys so much for listening to the show, for downloading. Again, sorry for... I don't know what it is, but I think everyone who has a motorbike or a loud car needed to drive past my house today. So I'm sorry if you hear any dickheads driving past. You know how I am with editing. I'm too lazy to get that out. So yeah, that's what it is. And yeah, just thank you for also waiting a day longer again for the download. I was going to do it on Monday, but I was really not feeling it. I was really sick. Yeah, don't know what's going on, guys. I have this lingering cold. I promise you it's not corona, because I can still taste everything and I can still smell everything. So I'm feeling much better today. So I don't know what it was. Maybe I don't know, nasty hay fever or something. Who knows? Anyhow, I wish you a wonderful time in World of Warcraft or doing other things if you're not in Warcraft at the moment. And I will hear from you guys next week. Bye-bye.
This show is brought to you by Dragon Powered Studio. Find more at dragonpoweredstudio.com.